Hello viewers. Today we will talk about a fourth generation aircraft that is, you can say it right now, top of the line of the fourth generation aircrafts. It's called Rafale. It's the company that made it is called Dassault of France. It's a multi-role fighter. For the story of Rafale, you first have to see that France is the third largest exporter of arms in the world right now, and previously its Mirage 3 and Mirage 5 were pretty successful. You can also see the world's largest arm producers, the companies. There are three French companies in this list of 25 companies top revenue generation also. So I was talking about the history about the French weapon sales, that in the 60s and 70s the Mirage 3 and Mirage 5 aircraft were quite an export success, and I think France have not matched till date the number of aircraft sold at that time. Initially, France sold to Israel also the Mirage 3s, but later on, I guess because of a nationalist president there, the French policy changed. But maybe also due to business sense also, because the Arab market was bigger, quite bigger than the Israeli market. Uh, anyways, this before this Rafale fighter and after Mirage 3 and 5, there was Mirage 2000 also. But that was again not a very big export success. There were few export countries, and Rafale is now picking up the pace also. Although its first design is pretty old, as we will discuss here, that the Rafale A demo was on 4th July 1986. So it means that this aircraft were designed in the early 80s, and the Rafale C on 19th May 1991. Still, it took many years before the introduction of the aircraft on 18th May 2001. So it's actually it entered service in the 21st century. Uh, it was initially a fourth generation aircraft, but I think because of so much long its R&D time, it has been upgraded along the way, and now it's on the upper end of the fourth generation, that is called 4.5 or 4.5 plus generation. So the current users are French Air and Space Force, French Navy, Egyptian Air Force, Indian Air Force, and there are some on orders uh, on other air force also that we will discuss later. So its production has been started since 1986 when its first prototype was built, and still continuing. Till date, 259 of these fighter jets have been made. Uh, the literal meaning of this Rafale is gust of wind or burst of fire in a more military sense. It's a French twin engine canard delta wing multi role fighter aircraft designed and built by Dassault Aviation. Equipped with a wide range of weapons, the Rafale is intended to perform air supremacy, interdiction, aerial reconnaissance, ground support, in-depth strike, anti-ship strike, and nuclear deterrence mission. The Rafale is referred to as an omni-role aircraft by the Dassault, the company that made these fighters. In the late 1970s, the French Air Force and French Navy were seeking to replace and consolidate their existing fleet of aircraft. In order to reduce development cost and boost prospective sales, France entered into an agreement with the UK, Germany, Italy, and Spain to produce an agile multi-purpose future European fighter aircraft, which would become the Eurofighter Typhoon. Subsequent disagreements over the work share and differing requirements led France's pursuit of its own development program. Dassault built a technology demonstrator which first flew in July 1996 as part of an 8-year flight test program, paving the way for go-ahead of the project. The Rafale is distinct from other European fighter of its era that it is almost entirely built by one country, involving most of France's major defense contractors such as Dassault, Thales, and Safran. Many of the aircraft avionics and features such as direct voice input, the RBE-2 AA active electronically scanned array AESA radar, and the optronic sector frontal infrared search and track IRST sensor were domestically developed and produced by the Rafale program. Originally scheduled to enter service in 1996, the Rafale suffered significant delays due to post-Cold War budget cuts and changes in priorities. There are three main variants: Rafale C single-seat land-based version, Rafale B twin-seat land-based version, Rafale M single-seat carrier-based version. Introduced in 2001, Rafale is being produced for both French Air Force and for carrier-based operations in the French Navy. The Rafale has been used in combat over Afghanistan, Libya, Mali, and Syria. The aircraft canards also act to reduce minimum landing speed to 213 km per hour, while in flight the air speeds as low as 28 km per hour have been observed during training missions. According to simulation by Dassault, the Rafale has sufficient low speed performance to operate from stow bar configured aircraft carriers and can take off using ski jump with no modifications. The Rafale M retains about 95% commonality with the Air Force variants, including, although unusual for carrier-based aircraft, being unable to fold its multi-spar wings to reduce storage space. The size constraints were offset by the introduction of Charles de Gaulle, France's first nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, which was considerably larger than previous carriers. So the space was not a problem in the case of French Navy, but if France has to export to other navy, then they might have a smaller aircraft carriers. Although not a full aspect stealth aircraft, the cost of which was viewed unacceptably excessive, the Rafale was designed for a reduced radar cross section and infrared signature. In order to reduce the RCS, changes from the initial technology demonstrator include a reduction in the size of tail fin, fuselage reshaping, repositioning of the engine air inlets underneath the aircraft wing, and the extensive use of composite materials. 70% of the Rafale's surface area is composite. Many of the features designed to reduce the radar's visibility to threats remain classified. Results describes the frontal sector electro-optic system IRST OSF as being immune to jamming and capable of providing covert long-range surveillance. We will talk about it in detail after a while. The initial deliveries of Rafale M were to the F1, that means France 1 standard, which were equipped for the air-to-air interceptor combat duties, but lacked any armament for air-to-ground operations. The F1 standard became operational in 2004. Later, the deliveries were to the F2 standard, which added the capability for conducting air-to-ground operations. The first F2 standard Rafale M was delivered to French Navy in May 2006. Starting in 2008 onwards, Rafale deliveries have been to the nuclear-capable F3 standard and also added reconnaissance with the Aerius reconnaissance pod. and it has been reported that all aircraft built to the earlier F1, F2 standards are to be upgraded to become F3s. So it's not clear the what are the export version are capable, even if they are F2 or F3. So that might be a question for each of the export countries. F3 standard Rafales are capable of undertaking many different mission roles with a range of equipment, namely air defense, air superiority missions with Mica, IR, EM, and EM air-to-air missiles, and Scalp, EG cruise missiles, AASM Hammer air-to-surface missiles, AIM-39 exhausted sea skimming missiles, and ASMP-A missiles that are for nuclear strikes. So all the weapons that are the air weapons that are in the inventory of the French Air Force can be used with these aircraft. Now we can maybe more focus on the one export customer, that is India, because we don't have time, because the length of this video might become too lengthy. The Rafale was one of the 6 aircraft competing in the Indian MRCA competition for 126 multi-role fighters. Originally, the Mirage 2000 has been considered for the competition, but Dassault withdrew in favor of the Rafale. In February 2011, French Rafale flew demonstration in India, including air-to-air combat against the Su-30 MKIs. In April 2011, Indian Air Force shortlisted the Rafale and Eurofighter Typhoon for the 10.4 billion contract. It's a long story. In the end, that contract was cancelled, and India ordered directly the 36 aircraft, and there was some allegations of corruptions also, and but the government won the case in the Supreme Court that there was no corruption in that. So eventually what happened, that out of around August 2017, India considered ordering 36 more Rafales amid tension with China. In the end, first 5 Rafale was delivered on 27 July 2020. The last Rafale arrived in April 2022. There is a report about the naval Rafales also. Dassault CEO Eric Trappier stated that the Indian Navy may order up to 57 Rafales. So another thing about its total, France has ordered about 180 out of planned 286, and approximately 152 are confirmed delivered to France. Then the Kuwaiti Emirati Air Force 36 ordered, all delivered to them. And about the specifications of the aircraft: 50 feet 1 inch length, wingspan 35 feet 9 inches, height 17 feet 6 inches, wing area 492 square feet, gross weight 15,000 kg, max takeoff weight 24,500 kg, fuel capacity 4,700 kg, internal that is fuel tank 4,400 in 2-seater. Performance Mach 1.1 at low altitude, combat range 1850 km on a penetration mission with 3 tanks, 2 Scalp EG cruise missiles, and 2 Mica air-to-air missiles. Ferry range with 3 dock tanks is 3,700 km, service ceiling 51,952 feet, Rate of climb 60,000 feet per minute. There is a 130 cannon, auto cannon with 125 rounds. There are 14 hard points for a range of weapons that are available and a range of combination of those weapons also. So as far as that IRST is concerned, that is called Optronic Sector Frontal OSF, is a long-range optoelectronic system developed for the French Dassault Rafale combat aircraft. With its narrow field, the visible waveband capability is truly valuable to identify targets in situations where visual contact is required by the rules of engagement. It allows target tracking through IRST and visual sensors. On the left, the main IR detector can be used as FLIR to send a video signal to the pilot or to detect air targets at the ranges up to 100 km, surface or sea targets up to 6 km. On the right, a TV IR sensor is used for target identification 40 km range and includes a laser rangefinder. The benefits in air-to-air confrontation are passive long distance detection, target identification before engagement. So, as I remember, in the Soviet fighters, it was the MiG-29 that had IRST, and because it was a purely air defense fighter, interceptor, so IRST even in the 1980s was there in the Soviet fighters, and it was considered very useful in close combat. So as far as the uh, very famous question that is asked is what is the Rafale compared to the F-16? So depends upon which F-16s we are talking about. If it's Block 15 or the what we call F-16A, Bs, they are surely that have not been upgraded, midlife MLU upgraded, not MLU upgraded, that are surely not comparable to this present Rafale. But if we are talking about in Indian Pakistani perspective, so all of the Pakistanis in 1980s F-16 have been MLU midlife upgraded. So it will be quite a match, though Rafale might be, uh, you can see, like the Su-30 MKI has bigger power with two engines and longer range because of this. But if there is a air-to-air fight at the long range, then there are a lot of factors in that. The AWACS, the jammers aircraft, and so it's a you can say it's a basically a team game, that how well a person is a team player and how well the team performs. So like in a, you can say, any competition in a race car, each of the race cars have different technical parameters, but then it depends upon the pilot skills, who wins that race. But in that there is only the pilot skill, but in the air-to-air combat now this is a team game, because it's no AWACS, because AWACS have come in and the dedicated jammers have come in to the picture, and current day wars also have a very fast changing environment of the war also, that what is called the fog of the war. So eventually that person, that fighter will be successful, who has been who is being flown by a more experienced pilot, more professional pilot, and how his team. So no matter how well he is experienced, or but what matters is how his team is supporting him. So the answer to that question is basically that the Block 5052 or the MLU F-16s with their own long-range air-to-air missiles uh, compared to this Rafale fighters, it will uh, the outcome of their fight will be decided upon how well the team performs besides that pilot. So that is all for today. uh, Please comment, subscribe, and share the channel so that I keep on making videos like this. Until next time, take care. Bye.